myself and free, somewhere between heaven and the tall pine trees. Oh, land, I'm missing you. Guitar playing through the night, it felt pretty good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Good as warm for the price of two. It's been a long time gone.
Welcome, everybody, to the Digital Speakeasy with Tommy Mauriello and Chef Joe Coco. Joey, how you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, Tommy. How about yourself?
Living the good life, my man. Living the good life. I got a full breakdown of parenting today in the utmost degree. My wife started work, and I was alone with the baby, and sheesh. So I'm really needed this glass today. So salute to you, sir.
I salute to you and to your beautiful daughter, Tommy.
Thank you very much. So have Chef Joe Coco on. We're going to talk a little bit about cooking at home from a talented executive chef. As always, speaking of chefs, we're doing this to raise money for the World Central Kitchen. So we have far surpassed our goal, but we're going to keep it running because at Edgerton, we're going to be matching our donation that's raised from this show for up to $25,000. So keep it on going. If you guys would like to donate, please see the link for the World Central Kitchen in our link tree on our Instagram or on our Facebook. The World Central Kitchen has done an amazing job throughout the pandemic, allowing restaurant and hospitality workers to continue to work, as well as giving back to people that needed it. People needed to be fed, needed some. Times are rough. People couldn't afford to go out and get some meals, so the World Central Kitchen has been taking care of them, and as well as throughout all different types of tragedies, the World Central Kitchen is always there. So please donate to those guys. But on to the star of our show, Mr. Joe Coco. Joey, what goes on, sir? Where are you coming to us from? Where's home for you? Tell everybody where you're at.
Home for me is Old Bridge, New Jersey, Tommy.
Old Bridge, New Jersey.
Old Bridge, New Jersey. Yeah, you would never believe this Brooklyn boy moved to Jersey, but I did.
You know what? With that accent, I would never know you were from Brooklyn.
No, never. Never in a million years.
That's awesome, man. So, Joe, tell us, what's your current title and who are you currently employed with?
Currently, I am an executive chef working with Compass Group. Compass Group is one of the world's largest food service companies. We are basically on every continent in the world. We have a subsidiary of about 19 companies which make up the full umbrella of Compass Group. And I work for a division called Unidyne, which is more notably known for their healthcare services at the moment.
Amazing. So you are giving people that are currently situated in a healthcare facility.
Yes, it's actually a skilled nursing facility that I'm the chef for at this moment.
Beautiful. So how does that work for you every day going to work? It has to be special precautions preparing food inside of a healthcare facility during a pandemic, right?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, preparing the food is still preparing the food. We still follow our basic rules, regulations, our training, making sure time and temperature is all under control. But we do have to follow the regulations set by the state as far as, masks, face coverings, the face shields. We have to, if we go into any of the residence rooms, we have to put gowns on. So, I mean, we do have some precautions that we have to follow. But while we're in the kitchen cooking, our standard chef uniforms, gloves, and a mask. So, once we leave, that's when we have to gown up and all that stuff.
Absolutely. I'm complaining about wearing a mask when I'm at the gym. I can only imagine the heat of a kitchen wearing a mask. And you and I were not small boys, so I'm sure that could affect you.
Speak for yourself, Tommy. I'm small. Come on. Who are you kidding here?
No offense, chef. No offense.
Hey, you never trust a skinny chef. Remember that.
That's an absolute fact. You cannot. I'm not gonna train with a boxing trainer that never boxed before, right? I'm not gonna train with I'm not gonna sit down and eat with a skinny chef.
Yeah, come on, you want to know the guy used a pound of butter.
Absolutely. So we have Christine saying hi, Joe. I don't know if you saw.
I see now. Yep, she just popped up.
And of course, we all know that you're looking good, but Patel wanted to confirm that with you. So hello to you guys. And my brother's asking where Harlan's at. Way past her bedtime. Way past. Coco's the star of the show tonight, not Holland. But so what brings you to the title of executive chef? How does one get to that title?
Well, Tommy, it's like any other career. When you want to reach a certain level, you have to work for it. You have to earn it. You don't just say, "Oh, I'm walking out of culinary school and I'm going to be the next executive chef, top guy of the world." It doesn't happen. You got to prove yourself. And I've done it. I've been in the business now since I'm 15. I'm 44. So basically 30 years of my life has been cooking, So I was lucky enough to work, my butt off. And like I said, I started when I was 15 and I got my first executive chef job by the time I was 23. And it was hard work. It was hard. A lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of cut fingers in the very beginning, getting used to the motion, a lot of burns and stuff. But, the dedication that I put in, it brought me forward in my career. And that's what it's all about. Any career you really want to advance in, you have to show that you're not the clock guy. I'm not looking at a clock saying I got to go home. Speaking of the clock behind me, of all things, I'm not the guy who's saying, "Oh, I can't be in at 5 o'clock in the morning. You want me to be here at that time to make breakfast for these people? It's way too early for me." And stay from 5 to, let's say, 9 o'clock at night because, we got a dinner service. No, for me, it's my job. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my best foot forward. And, I've always just done it. That's it. That's what it was. I just worked and proved myself. I wasn't one of those guys waiting for a handout saying, "Oh, you've made it now." No, I worked. And every place I've ever gone, I deserved the job that I got.
Absolutely. And being a chef is 100% blue collar. I've worked in restaurants same since I was 15. So I worked at Skinflint's Caterers on 13th Avenue and 79th Street in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So I learned what a kitchen was like there, but also at Bobby Van's at Major Steakhouse, I've seen kitchens, and it is not something that you could walk out of a program or out of school and be running with it. No, that is something that you really have to work your way into. It is not an easy profession. It's not something that you could do by reading a book. You got to have your hands involved in it. You have to understand it. You have to be a leader. You have to be a creative genius. You have to learn how to fall in order. You have to, everything that goes into it. There is nothing like a final machine kitchen.
I'll never forget. I was young. I was maybe, I'm going to say 19 at the time, maybe 20. And I was, what's up, Anthony? I was working in a restaurant in the city. And I'll never forget, it was one of my first jobs, working in this restaurant. And I was the prep guy. I was just a prep cook at the time. And I was in the basement of a New York City kitchen. The ceiling was like on top of my head. I'm a tall guy, so it was like right on top of my head. And I'm working. And I was down there doing a list of prep work that the chef wanted. And he came down one day and he just looked at what I was doing. He's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Chef, it's what you told me to do." "This is not what I wanted." He picked up my cutting board and threw everything in the garbage. And I looked at him like, "Dude, are you out of your mind? Like, what are you doing?" He goes, "That's junk. It's not the way I want it." So me, the smart mouth that I am, I said, "So show me. You pick up a knife, show me what you want, and you'll get it. I promise you that. You give me a list, I'm going to do it the way I think is the best, which may not be what you want, 100%. But it's what I do. So if you show me what you want, you get it done." Sure enough, he showed me once. And we had the best working relationship for a year and a half.
That's how it works.
That's what it's all about. You can't expect people to know what you want. You have to teach them, So, and that's what I do. That's what I do every day. I teach my guys. I teach my daughter. She's 13. And hey, she cooked dinner tonight along with my wife.
What you guys have? I'm curious.
Oh, my wife made some beautiful pork tenderloins. She pan-seared the pork tenderloins. Really nice. Did a nice little barbecue glaze on them. Did a little polenta salad on the side. Can't go wrong.
How you doing?
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Thing.
It was delicious.
May I also, my favorite chefs in your house, being that the food that I've had has come from your wife as well as your daughter. the chicken cuzzy sandwiches and the Nutella post hunting. For you guys out on there that go out for a hunt, you have never seen lunch that gets prepared from the Coco house. And my favorite part is going to the platform over there where we're behind in Rock Hill and
Oh yeah.
getting those chicken cuzzies and getting a little bit of Nutella and peanut butter sandwiches.
Oh, even though this year I did forget the espresso pot at home. Normally I bring my portable burner, and
That's awesome.
I bring my portable burner and I bring the espresso pot and I make a fresh pot of espresso. But this year I forgot at home.
Hey, that's why you got a deer. The deer know when you're in the woods, they smell the espresso. So what first brought you into the kitchen?
Oh, basically it was my grandmother. My grandmother's what really brought me into the kitchen. Just like any other typical Italian house, grandma lived with us. Grandma lived downstairs, we lived upstairs. And, God rest her soul. She's passed now. I was her helper. I wasn't anything more than just the guy who would help her mix the dough. She was old, grandma. She was in her late 70s, early 80s. And whenever she had to do something, she'd call me. Giuseppe, Veneca. Yeah, grandma, what's the matter? Mix the dough. I can't do it. My arms hurt. I don't have strength in my hands. Oh, okay, grandma. So I'd sit there. I don't know what I was making at the time. I was young, 13, 14 at the time. I didn't know. So I'd sit there. Grandma, what am I doing? Non ti preoccupare. I'd show you. Don't worry. Okay. And going and doing. And then she'd be making pots of sauce that were, like she was feeding 1,700 people. Meanwhile, there was 4 people for dinner. She's like, Car, pick up the pot, do this, do that. And I used to help her make the manicotti shells when I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just following what she told me to do. And I'll never forget, like I'd be making these shells and give her a stack, and then she'd go into her bedroom with this sacred cloth that she would drape over her bed. It would only see the light of day on Christmas Eve just for the manicotti shells. And she would put the manicotti shells in between this blanket sheet, whatever you want to call it. And that's basically how I got started. That's what really got me into it. My friends were out playing football and baseball and basketball. I was home cooking.
That's awesome. And there's no education like an Italian grandmother. No education. You really want to learn it. You want to learn food. That's the way. And everyone tries to replicate it. Everyone tries to brand it. Grandma's sauce this, grandma's sauce that.
No.
Authenticity comes from grandma's kitchen.
And the best part about it, and it's really the truth behind it, working with my grandmother back in the day, this right here was her measuring spoon, her measuring cup. This was her spatula. This was everything. There was no such thing as, let's measure a quarter cup. No. Okay.
That's so funny you say, because literally I wish I could show this. My next question is, I'm assuming grandma did not follow a strict recipe or a cookbook.
Not one recipe in hell. There was not one recipe to be found. You know how some grandmothers have a recipe book? Like, no, not at all. Not at all. She never followed a recipe book at all. She was just cooking from her heart, from what she learned way back in Italy when food was scarce and they had to make it from nothing, and that's how she taught me.
So then from there, obviously you learn from her flavors in food, but how does someone do that? How does someone balance flavors like that?
It's with experience, Tommy. When you're first starting out, you have to find yourself, in a sense. You have to find your palate. And basically, to find your palate, you have to experience all kinds of cuisines, all kinds of foods, not just certain things. You can't say, I'm not a fan of, let's say, ginger, per se. Some people say ginger tastes like Windex. It's got that offset, right? My wife is laughing right now at me because that's what she says. That's why I'm using the example. But you have to try all different things to see what you like. And then once you like that flavor, you have to learn how to utilize that flavor in different ways. And cooking is all about imagination. You can follow a cookbook, you can follow a recipe, you can follow all that stuff, and it's fine and dandy. There's nothing wrong with that. But my suggestion to everybody, first and foremost, when you want to balance flavors and learn cooking, just go shopping one day. Go nuts. Buy stuff you've never used in your life. Buy things that you look at and say, what the hell is this? Go home and just be creative. And that's where you'll find your balance. Do some research too, obviously. If there's ingredients you've never used before, never heard of, like fiddlehead ferns, for instance, who's ever used a fiddlehead fern or sunchoke, which is also known as a Jerusalem artichoke? You've never used these things. The common person at home will never in a million years pick these things up. But when you want to be adventurous, look for those ingredients that are rare, that you don't see every day, that you don't find, and just try to be creative with it. And you know what? There's nothing that's really wrong or right, especially if you love something that you just created and you're like, wow, that tastes great. You know what? You succeeded.
Absolutely.
You
And
succeeded.
it's the same with cocktails, and it's the same with whiskey as well. We were talking about it. You have your lovely Woodford Reserve back there. I apologize. I couldn't get you some of my stuff.
It's right next to me right now.
So shout out to Anna from Woodford Reserve and my good friend Brent Turlington representing Brown Foreman in Metro New York. But you have the wheat whiskey of Woodford Reserve, and
Yes,
that's
I do.
very similar to Wyoming whiskey.
Okay.
And people will sit down. You get chicken parm anywhere, right?
Yeah.
No such thing as a bad chicken parm.
No,
There's a lot of chicken parm is much better than others.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
Yes.
And that's the same with whiskey. And it comes down to basic ingredients. It comes down to the still. The still is similar to the oven. My mom has a black pan, and everything's made in that black pan. And I swear to God, she'll break down. She'll tell me how to make the pork cutlets and the chicken that goes in that black pan. It's not the same. The flavor's in the pan, and the flavor could come from the still, or the flavor could come from the oven, and it's the same. It's the same thing. It's all about balance and knowing what you like. And you drink Bullet, you drink bourbon, you enjoy all different types of stuff. My brothers wrote in big caps the black pan. He knows. But and that's what it is. And you were like, I don't know what it is, man. It's the wheat whiskey, and that's when I told you last night. Well, actually, all the best bourbons in the world are all wheat forward bourbons, starting from the big dog of Pappy Van Winkle. And that's why I think Wyoming whiskey is one of the top ones out there, because it's a wheater. 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12 barley, 5 years minimum, new chart American oak in the lovely Teton Mountains of Wyoming.
There you go.
It's awesome, man. And Woodford does an amazing job. Woodford is one of my favorite bourbons. Working at Gerber Group, that's what our Manhattan was with. That's where our Old Fashioned was with. We drank Woodford, and it's delicious.
I have to say, it's a delicious bottle. Really is. It's wonderful. It's smooth. It's nice. It's got a great flavor. I'm enjoying it very much.
Oh, it's awesome. And I love it too, because people ask, like, I love your answer to go out there and try new stuff,
Yeah.
And I do the same thing, like, I want to try to make a cocktail with burnt marshmallows. Let's see what happens, but people are like, oh, how do you know so much about whiskey? I drank a lot of whiskey. I went out there and I tried, I ran a whiskey bar for 4 years. Like
there you go.
I enjoy whiskey and I enjoy learning about it. And that's the way that you do it. What did Anthony just write? Nothing tastes the same if not cooked on that. Facts are facts. What's Joe's? Oh, we're getting to that, Ant. You're skipping ahead of my questions. Relax, pal. This is my show. All right, you're the older brother. This is my show. Another fun fact. You're talking about Wyoming. A program that we were running in New York when things were normal was pairing. The Wyoming family owns cattle. So we're comparing cuts from Wyoming to the whiskey and bringing and doing steakhouse dinners pairing with the whiskey. Mm-hmm. And I got really into it, and I started learning different sides of meat, how cattle is raised, what goes into a steakhouse. I sat down at Catch Steak actually with my good friend Juan and our buddy Nectali, who runs a spot out in Las Vegas. And he was telling me on how he was educated on all types of cattle and all types of beef. And he really got me into thinking about it and pretty much sparked the idea of this. But it all comes down to the butcher. And that is the coolest old school job in the land. I love blacksmiths, as you know. I think that's awesome. I do remember. But they go hand in hand, because a good butcher needs a good knife. So you are a butcher. You are someone that butchers their own animals after we hunt, which is awesome. And as Anthony can attest, you do it in record time. But where did you learn how to butcher? How do you pick up this skill?
Well, basically, it's a pretty funny story. Learning how to butcher. I was a young kid in high school. I was 15 at the time, and had a girlfriend that I just wanted to, take out whatever. And I didn't want to ask my parents for money, so I found a part-time job working for a butcher department in a local key food. And so I started working in this butcher's department, and the lead butcher there, he was an older gentleman. He was 77 years old and still working every day, still butchering every day. His name was Johnny Incravea. He was like a grandfather to me.
A
He
lot of
took me under
vowels
his
in your
wing.
stories, by the way.
Oh yeah, he took me under his wing and treated me like a grandson and taught me how to butcher from snout to tail. He used to bring in sides of cattle, a half cow, and butcher it from front to back, all the different cuts, from the chuck steaks to the New York strips to, the skirt steak, the inside skirt, outside skirt, the flanks. He would take the whole thing top to bottom and butcher it down. And basically that's how I learned. And, as time passed, I progressed. He taught me how to use all the different machinery that's there, the bandsaw machines, the grinders, what the sides of the dials are on the grinders to get the meat finer or coarser, knowing how much fat you have to incorporate in certain meat to have a good fat to lean beef ratio. So he taught me all this stuff, and it was great. And that's basically how I learned to butcher. And I've always used that going forward in any restaurant I worked, any kitchen I worked, anywhere really, even down to hunting. As you know, last year I brought home that beautiful deer, and just bringing it home and butchering it myself. Even when I go food shopping for my house, I got 3 kids. I got a food bill that we have to do, and to buy stuff pre-cut gets a little expensive sometimes. So I just use my knowledge of, let's say I buy a whole ribeye, and you buy a nice whole ribeye, 150, 175 bucks, and you get a good amount of steaks from it. Then normally, if you're going to buy a steak piece by piece, you're going to spend a ton of money on. So I just utilize my knowledge, and I've taught my wife how to, butcher chicken cutlets and chickens down and stuff like that. It's just something that I grew into, and I love to do, and I actually love to teach people to do that aren't scared, because some people, they kind of get a little grossed out, like, you want me to hold a whole chicken? What do you want me to do with this thing? I'm like, oh, we're going to cut it up. What do you mean? I'm like, yeah, we're going to cut out the backbone, split it, as they call a spatchcock chicken, where you cut out the backbone and you lay it flat. It's like, really? That sounds kind of gross. I'm like, oh, it's nothing, man. It's got to be done. And I just happen to love it. Beef, chicken, lamb, fish. I don't care. I'll butcher anything.
I'm a big fan as well. And I'm your next student as well. We're gonna get a few lessons going. I'll borrow with whiskey, but I'm excited.
That's fine with me, Tommy. I'll teach you anything you want to know.
It's awesome, man. So it's amazing what you could do with just a straight up butcher block and sharp knives. But going into tools, as Anthony was asking, what are the tools of the trade of a butcher? My friend James Darcy, he's a part of Edrington, and he runs this awesome program called Butcher and Barrel, where he's talking with a buddy back home, and they're comparing Highland Park to his butcher shop and what he's doing. And it's awesome, and it's a lot of fun. But what are your tools of the trade? What are your weapons?
First and foremost, you have to remember one thing. It doesn't make a difference what knife you want to use, whether you want to use a Henkel's, a Wusthof, a Victorinox. I don't care what brand you want to use. First and foremost, remember the most important thing: a sharp knife is a safe knife. You can get injured worse with a dull knife than you can with a sharp knife. If you cut yourself with a sharp knife, it will just go through you. It'll hurt, but it'll heal better. A dull knife will really rip your skin up, rip your meat up, and it'll be even more painful, and it'll take longer to heal and all. So that's the first tip I want to make sure everybody understands. So, first off, this right here is your basic sharpening steel. It's a honing steel. It's nothing more than just a basic steel. Now, this steel is important to keep your knives with a very good edge, but you have to remember one important thing. This steel gets dirty. And I'm not talking about dirty with like blood and meat and stuff as you're cutting. This steel, metal specks, metal flakes, as you sharpen your knife, metal flakes will stay on this steel and will actually dull your knife instead of sharpening. So the best thing to do is actually take a paper towel, right? Not a wet paper towel, a dry paper towel, or dry cloth if you have, and actually just wrap it around it and twist from the handle, twist down. And as you twist down, it will remove the metal specks on there and keep your steel clean, okay? And help sharpen you. Also, when I'm butchering, you need a good scimitar. This is basically, some people say it looks like a sword, but it's not. I'll even pull it back so you can see it. It has a nice curve. This is what you want to get when you're working with the larger cuts of beef. When you're working with, especially with a cow, because they're the larger animal, and you want to cut out like the back straps. If you want to do a deboned ribeye, a deboned New York strip, you want to work from there. This is what you really want to get into, right? And also boning knives. There's boning knives and all that other stuff. And then you need a good cleaver. A good cleaver. As you're working, every now and then you will come in contact with a little bone that you have to get through. And not everybody's going to have a bandsaw. I mean, it doesn't happen. So you need a good cleaver, and you got to practice with this, people. Don't go out and buy this because I say this is what you need. If you're going to buy it, practice with it, because this thing will take this off. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very, very careful, extremely careful. So, whatever knives you use, just make sure you are conscious of what you're doing and your surroundings, so you keep yourself safe.
Awesome.
There's that. Then there's, your basic, I have my kit open. You have your basic, 10-inch chef's knife. This is what you want to use. You don't want to use anything smaller while you're working,
Look at the bevel on that, man. That thing's deep.
yeah, it's there. It's there. So, your basic chef's knife, keeping it sharp. This is what you want to use, when you're cutting through your produce and stuff like that. This will give you, everything that you need. And then of course you also have your basic serrated knives. Serrated knives are great. Now you're not really using this more for butchering, really. You're using this more like
slicing,
when you're baking, right? When you're baking breads, cakes, desserts, but this still comes in handy. Like for instance, when I was butchering my deer back in November when I took home the deer, right? I wanted to save the head because I wanted to mount the head. So I didn't have a bandsaw and I didn't have a hacksaw. So when you know the right points on the animal while you're butchering, you can actually use a serrated knife to get through those certain spots where it's more cartilage than bone, and you can get right through. And basically, that's what I used. So this will come in handy when butchering certain things, but this is more for like pastry and breads and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Anthony asks, do you grind your knives or is the steel sufficient?
You know what? I use my steel, and I also have a stone, which I'm not going to take out because it's kind of large. I use a stone with a little bit of oil on there. Believe it or not, I actually use a little bit of motor oil on it, on the stone. Very little, though. It's just a couple of drops just to keep it lubricated, and that will help you get the best edge on there. And of course, guys, as always, if you're not going to use something that's food grade, you need to clean it when you're done, making sure soap and water to clean it and make sure it's safe to use.
I got a little belt grinder. My goal is to open up and have a forge as well and create my own knives. But I got a little belt grinder for Christmas this year, so I've been playing around with that. So
nice.
I got some nice sharp edges on a few of my things. So
then I think we need to buy a nice piece of meat and let's try those edges.
Absolutely. And I was going to say next year, prior to going into the woods, I'll sharpen everyone's hunting knives too. It'll be fun.
I'll take
it. So to start off, you want to get one of those nice curved knives. You want to get one of those big old hatchets.
Yep, a nice cleaver.
A solid chef knife, but you want that knife to be sharp.
Yes. And remember, guys, I use a much larger cleaver than the average person will use. You can use a smaller one, and to be honest with you, for the basic at-home cook, right? Somebody who wants to dabble in culinary at home, especially now with the quarantine going on, what I would suggest, instead of buying everything piece by piece, I would suggest go and get yourself a good block. When you get yourself a good block, it'll have everything in there from a 10-inch chef's knife to an 8-inch chef's knife to a utility knife, a fillet knife, a bread knife. It'll actually have your basic steak knives when you're eating dinner. It'll have a paring knife. It'll have all the tools that you need built right into that block. I would suggest spend a little bit more. Don't chintz out. if you're going to do it, I prefer Henkel's. I think Henkel's is probably the best knife for me. It's my own personal opinion. I'm not saying that, you can agree or disagree or whatever. But for me, a Henkel's is a great knife. Nothing wrong with Wüsthof. They're great too. But stick with something like that and you'll get everything you need.
Awesome. So what's your favorite meat to work with?
Oh, it's hard to say. It's hard, like when it's nice outside and I can get to my smoker, hey, I'm pork all the way.
Excellent.
Give me a pig and I'll smoke up some pulled pork. I'll smoke up all of that and I'll love it. You know what I mean? But
I'm a pig guy as well. I love my bacon. I love my
oh,
pork belly. You
oh
saw my
yeah,
porchetta from the weekend.
I saw that. That's nice.
I'm a
That's
big
nice.
fan. I'm a big fan of pig as well.
Yeah, not that long ago, I actually smoked up my own bacon as well. I don't have any pictures of it right now. At the time, I didn't take any pictures because I just was messing around with some recipes. So I cured my bacon, then I smoked it, and bacon is great. But when you're smoking your own and cooking it from start to finish,
That's another level, man. That's
oh
a
my god,
whole another level.
oh my god. But
I go to
then
the guys
also,
on Alta Avenue do it, and that bacon that they have there. I forgot they're right down the block from Title Brothers. I can't remember their name. Not in the market. I've went and I actually bought some elk from them, and I bought some venison from them. But I was like, is that bacon? It's like, yeah, we smoke it ourselves in house. I was like, can you cut it for me? He goes, no, he'll just buy it for themselves. I'm like, okay. And that's when I went, I sliced my bacon myself, thick cut. Again, one of those days where you wake up the next morning and you can't get your ring on, you can't get a watch on, but it was absolutely delicious, man.
Yeah. And then, if I'm grilling, hey, listen, I got to have a good rib steak.
Yeah, I'm a ribeye guy all day.
I'm a ribeye guy, but if I change it up also. I do love a flat iron steak. I think a flat iron steak is great. Flank steak, I actually like to take the flank steak and I butcher it open. I fillet it open, pound it out, and I stuff it like a nice pinwheel, and I'll roast it on the grill. I'm really believe it or not, my least favorite cut is fillet.
Same.
Is fillet. It's just not fatty enough for me. I mean, like we said earlier, we're pretty big guys. We like our fat,
Absolutely.
I'll take a fillet if it's wrapped in bacon.
Yeah. At Bobby Van's, they said bone plus fat equals flavor. You want the most amount of flavor coming from a steak is the bone and ribeye.
That's it.
I do appreciate a bone and fillet. Bone and fillet is a really good. It's a different animal.
It is.
Even though I'm having my steak medium rare or rare, I'll still butterfly it though.
Okay.
I like it a little more open, but
okay.
Bone and fillet is a different animal, but I'm a ribeye guy all day, and the big dogs too. Not the actual tomahawk, but just I like grilling big cuts of meat. Anthony can attest to that. Anthony and Vinny, my brothers, do it great.
I got to be honest. I got to say something. I when I see the tomahawk thing, all right, it drives me insane. Like, I'm a chef and I've cooked for people. Don't get me wrong, but that whole tomahawk thing, I don't want to look at a bone. I could care less about a bone. Take that bone out of there. Give me the steak. So I don't need the bone right there. That whole, it's nice.
How do I eat the bone? Yeah. Oh, I can't. Okay, get rid of it. Get it off my plate. It's getting in my way.
And you're spending all that money for the whole gimmick of a tomahawk steak. It's got a big bone on it. Okay,
I see the Flintstones.
Leave the short rib attached to it, and then give me the ribeye with the short rib on it. Then we're talking.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It does look good. Yeah, as a former waiter, it's a visual sell, and it works. It works.
From the aesthetics.
Anthony's right, especially when you're paying by the pound, because you're paying $45 a pound for a tomahawk ribeye, and 2 pounds of it is the actual bone.
That's all it is.
What's your favorite cooking technique, Dean?
Dino, what's up, Dean? How are you, buddy? Long time no see. Right there, see that guy, Dean? I got to give him a shout out. That's one of my boys. I worked with Dean for many years. Dean, one of the best chefs I ever worked with. That man can cook his butt off. Dean, I love you, brother. Long time no see. For me, braising is definitely a great technique I love. But right now, I'm all big into the smoking. I've been big into the smoking and stuff and the barbecuing and stuff. So for me, a good smoked meat is where I'm at right now. I love it
I'm with
more.
you on
I'm
that
doing
too.
more smoking now than ever before.
I don't have my smoker exactly, but I do enjoy braising, and I am getting into the smoked meats part. Slow and low is the way to go, though, man.
Oh,
Slow and
always
low.
is. Oh, always is, man. That's really what it is. People forget there's a thing called the knob on the stove. You got to use it, And it brings me back to my grandmother. God rest her soul. Grandma cooked everything on blazing, inferno heat, like ready to erupt like a volcano. She didn't understand that you had to turn it down every so often, but that's the way they cooked. And as I've progressed, I realized, you got to pay attention to the way you're cooking. Some things they talk to you. They'll tell you like, I need a little more heat to speed it up. Let's slow it down a little,
And a cast iron can smoke up your entire kitchen if you use it the wrong way.
Oh, a cast iron has. Oh, Tommy, the cast iron has set off the smoke alarm to say fire, fire.
Yep.
No, it's not. It's not a fire. It's just a freaking cast iron.
I wasn't used to our new stove. The baby was like 2 weeks old. I was like, I'm going to make a ribeye. So I got the cast iron nice and hot and realized how hot it was. And the alarm went off. I was like a 280-pound Spider-Man. I like kicked up the walls and pulled the smoke alarm from out. I was waiting for Ashley to stab me. Luckily, the baby slept through it. It was all good, but I was terrified.
Don't wake her up. Don't wake her up.
Never realized how nimble I was, how fast I got up there to pull that smoke alarm off. So what's your motivation behind cooking? And how do you pair your flavors? What's your creative process?
My creative process, I actually like to, first off, what I like to do is I like to look at certain ingredients and say, all right, where am I going with this? And I'll change it up. I'll throw a little Asian flair into my cooking techniques. I studied in Germany, so I'll throw a little bit of that, a little of that technique that I learned while I was over there. Especially, I learned how to make the best Wiener Schnitzel in the world.
Yeah.
While I was there, and it's amazing. It's delicious. It's all about thinking about what you're making. That's my cooking process. What am I doing tonight? Am I going real old school Italian? So I know I need, my fresh herbs. I need my garlic. Am I doing something with tomato based or not? Am I braising? So if I'm braising, let's say my short rib, I want to incorporate a good wine into the short rib. So what am I using? I'm not going to go buy a cheap little, $5 bottle of wine for it because it's not going to give me the flavor I want. So I'm going to incorporate ingredients that I really want to utilize. So I always try to think about what I'm making and put the best ingredients into that dish, and that's basically how I go about my events and how I cook for myself, and for my family. And sometimes it's hard. Like my biggest critics are my kids, for the longest time, I'll never forget my boys. They wouldn't eat my fresh macaroni and cheese, for instance. It's the stupidest thing, but they would only eat the blue box. I'm like, oh my God, no. My kids will not eat
the
that
blue box blues.
I said, my kids will not eat it, and so I just kept redoing the recipe that I would do till I found what they like, and that's also part of it. Knowing who you're cooking for and knowing like some people might not like certain ingredients. Like for instance, if I cook for my dad, right? My dad can't eat garlic, can't eat onions. So how do you make a really good tomato sauce without garlic and onions? You know what I mean? It's hard. It's real hard to do. So you gotta figure things out and just know who you're working for and how to work around it, and just putting a lot of flair into it, a lot of creativeness to it.
Awesome. Absolutely. What's your favorite cuisine?
For me, right now, I am all over Asian food. I'm right now big into Asian. Love Asian, especially sushi, hibachi. Right now, I'm all into the Asian stuff.
All the hoisin sauce, all the fish
sauce. All the different. The dark soys and the mushroom soy and all that stuff that learned how to use in the mirins and the different rice wine vinegars and the different techniques that they use. I'm really big into that right now, and especially because ever since quarantine hit, my kids are not really big on Asian flavors too much. My daughter, yes, my boys not so much. So that gives me and my wife a chance for when we do go out, when we have that chance to have that once in a blue moon date night, we usually go out for Asian because we don't get a chance to do it that much at home, you know. So that's really where I'm at. I just love to try all new things with the Asian foods.
I told Ashley some of my favorite pairings is like base wise, fresh ginger, garlic, and shallots. When you're starting off with that, oh my God, like just the aroma that comes off of that. It's I'm with you. I've been making my own jerky, and I kind of combined like American style, like I do like a classic American style rub almost. Brown sugar, cumin, cayenne pepper. But then I incorporate the dark soy. I put a little bit of the spicy Thai red sauce in there, soy sauce, Worcestershire, and it's been aces, man. It's been really good.
Now let me ask you a question. How are you drying it out?
So I'm drying it in a dehydrator.
Okay.
I know that's kind of sacrilege to a lot of jerky people, but
hey, listen,
I keep my eye on it, and honestly, it comes out awesome.
There's nothing wrong with a dehydrator. Those are great. That's a great piece of machinery right there. You can do anything with dehydrator. That you can dehydrate your own fruits to make dried fruits. You can do sun-dried tomatoes in there. You can do anything. Make your own like apple chips. And stuff.
And that's what so trying to make everything for Harlan. So we pureed up sweet potatoes and carrots for her, pureed up some bananas for her. So I want to cook all of her food. She was breastfed for 6 months. And now that she's starting to eat solids, we want everything to be real food for her. So that's awesome. Another reason why I want to get the dehydrator. But while she's not ready for it, Dad's going to play around and make a little bit of jerky. So
hey, not everything is about the kids, my man.
Absolutely. Dean had a cool question. When you're shopping for your family, what section of the grocery store do you hit first?
Actually, I hit every aisle, believe it or not. I hit every aisle starting from the produce all the way down because, everybody likes something different in my house. For instance, my boys love fresh apples, especially like Gala apples and Fuji apples. So I'm always hitting the produce aisle for that. My daughter's big. She loves dipping cucumbers and stuff, whether it's hummus or some kind of dip that I might make or salsa that we might make or guacamole. She loves English cucumbers. So usually produce aisle first. Start there.
Produce aisle first, Dean.
Produce aisle.
I love the explanation points on the first that Dean just put. Did you see that in the bottom?
Oh, yeah. I got you, Dino.
Your average grocery store bill has to be minimum $250.
Yeah, just about.
Minimum.
Just about. Yeah. Just about. You'll find out, man. Once you have quite a few kids, you'll find out.
Oh, I'm seeing it right now, man. Slowly but surely.
Well, that's because you got the diaper bill right now. Diaper bill. Once the diaper bill disappears, that's when all the snack bill comes in.
So we've been so blessed. The first time we bought diapers was last week. People took care of us so well and loaded us up. And she's tiny. Harlan's so tiny, so she stayed in those. Like last week was the first time we personally bought diapers.
Okay,
it's great. We've been blessed. But so you kind of answered it. You're enjoying Asian style. You're enjoying sushi. So what's your go-to spot to go out to eat?
Oh, right here in Mattawan, which is about 10 minutes away from where I live. There's a place called Ganga. And for me, they make the best sushi. They have some really, really great specialty rolls. They really push the envelope a little bit. Their pineapple fried rice is to die for.
That's one of my favorites.
Pineapple fried rice, gotta have it. Hands down, go to Ganga, try their pineapple fried rice, try their pad thai. It is off the chain.
Pad siu and pineapple fried rice are my favorites. Pineapple belongs in fried rice. It does not belong on pizza. I will die on that sword.
Pizza? Pineapple? No. And anybody out there, I don't care who they are, says pineapple belongs on pizza, I'm not your friend anymore. Ain't happening.
Tell him, Joey.
That's it.
Tell him, Joey.
You want to put the ham? Okay, fine. I'll take a little ham, no problem. I mean, it's in the sausage family. It's all pork.
Yeah.
But the pineapple, out.
See you later.
Put the pineapple on the El Pastor.
Yes. That's it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's good too, man. I messed around. I made some tacos. A few months back now, though. But yeah, El Pastor. I love that one.
Listen, I actually did an El Pastor over the summertime, right?
Ooh,
And
this is a good question right now. Better pizza, Jersey or New York? I'm going with El Prez. I'm going with Portnoy, New Haven all day.
Dino, come on, boy. I'm a Brooklyn boy. It's hard to say, but I got the best of both worlds here in Jersey, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to shout out to Crispy Pizza on 516. Crispy Pizza, the son opened up a spot here in Jersey. The original came from Brooklyn.
I heard
They
it
have
right.
the
That's
same
that's our pizzeria. We grew up on 67th and 12th. So
There
we
you
had La
go.
Sorrentina and then we had Crispy. The
That's
Pomodoro
it.
from Crispy, hands down, top 5 slices ever. The
Let me tell
Pomodoro
you
slice from
something.
Crispy.
Their pizza right now, hands down. I don't care who's listening out there. There are other great pizzerias here in New Jersey. Don't get me wrong. There's great pizzerias here, but Crispy Pizza here in Jersey, hands down, the best. And then if I'm in Brooklyn, Tommy, you know what I'm going to say.
I know a guy, and it's in the same neighborhood as the Fars, but it's not the Fars.
I know a guy. You got to go to San Remo, baby. Matt's
All day.
Pizzeria. Let me tell you something. His pizza is off the chain. Mateo, and this is not because we've been friends for years. Truly. Mateo's Pizzeria is awesome. San Remo Pizzeria, hands down. If you're in Flatbush, you got to go. You got to try it out. And then the other, if I'm in Brooklyn, this is mine where I lived right not far from them. J&V Pizza on 18th Avenue and 64th Street. Back in the day, they had the best pie. Oh my God. And I know there's other people are gonna say, no, Da Vinci.
I'm a Da Vinci guy. I
You?
like both, but I'm a Da Vinci guy.
See, Da Vinci's good. Don't get me wrong. But if I gotta choose, J&V all day. If I'm
You
in
know who
Brooklyn.
has really good pizza too out near you? Brooklyn Square.
Yeah, I've tried them.
He's
I've tried it.
Ashley was amazing. I couldn't go to any of her appointments because of COVID. So I wanted to see the ultrasound, but I couldn't see it,
Okay.
So she found a place out in Jersey. So we would drive an hour and change from here so I could see the ultrasound.
Wow. You're dedicated, my man.
Yeah. But I got to go to Brooklyn Square as well. So we made a little thing
see an
about
ultrasound, have a slice. What's it is what it is.
Da Vinci is solid, man. So for me, I go honestly, New Haven pizza, you can't go wrong. And I'm in Westchester, so I got a Frank Pepe near me.
Okay.
I don't know if it's as good as the original. I've had the original twice, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. It's really good. I just had this conversation with my buddy Brent earlier. You got Sally's and Modern Beats in New Haven, but I go Brooklyn all day. So start off with Totono's.
Okay.
Like Anthony said, Pizza Wagon.
Pizza Wagon was always good. You can't knock them. Pizza Wagon was always good.
But Totono's was always my number one. Love that spot. Best pizza in Williamsburg. They're solid. Danino's, Staten Island.
Okay.
Can't play around with Danino's. And then honestly, out here, you got Johnny's Pizzeria in Mount Vernon, and it's solid.
Really? Okay.
Like burnt to a crisp, like Napolitan style. That's my Mount Rushmore right now at pizza, I would say.
Okay.
And I heard some things about the Fars as well, that it's changed since the old man retired.
Well, the old man retired and the kids took over. And no disrespect. I mean, DeForest is DeForest. The old man was DeForest.
Yes.
He was DeForest. No disrespect. I'm sure the sons are doing great. I'm sure they're still keeping up the tradition, the recipes and all. But the old man's hands, they gave the pizza the flavor.
Hour and a half wait outside.
Yeah. You can't go wrong.
And this is how he's doing the dough. 45 people waiting.
And he didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
The basil.
And you know where else I like to go to? whenever now I'm talking brick oven here. When we go to Brooklyn, right? You ever go to El Coliseo on 18th Avenue?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Their brick oven pizza is just simple, no frills, outstanding.
Sneaky hidden gem.
It is.
Very sneaky hidden
Very
gem.
sneaky.
I like that place a lot.
You could drive by on 18th Avenue, like, what's this place? Coliseo? What's this? Whatever. If you don't know, you'll never know. But now that you know you got to go try their pizza.
Very sneaky, that place.
Oh
Big,
yes.
big fan.
Oh yes.
So with all these amazing places that we're talking about, what's the future of dining in New York?
Oh, it's hard to say, Tommy. Right now, with this pandemic that we're going through, I don't know, man. My industry right now, our industry, because restaurants, alcohol, it all
It's
goes
our
hand in
business, yep.
hand. It's dying a slow death. Dying a slow death. I mean, so many people are closing up. So many people are trying to get these loans to, stay afloat, and it's not happening. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so hard to see places closing up. And I mean, not just our industry, all industries right now are suffering.
1,000%.
Especially like,
Hospitality, though, is on the front lines, though, man. I would
and I
say
don't get it.
hospitality is high up there.
I don't get what they're doing in New York and what Cuomo's doing with such strict rules on restaurants. I'm here in Jersey. Murphy's treating it a little different. I mean, not like we're at 100% capacity. We're not. We're only at 35% capacity in the places, but at least between that 35% capacity and the takeout, these people are able to survive.
Can earn a living.
New York, they're still shut down, if I'm correct. Right?
Friday we open back up at 25% capacity.
Oh, they are this Friday. Okay, so I'm hoping that can bring some life back into the business, which I think it will. But it's difficult to say what's going to happen. I want to see it go right back to what it was. I want to see Manhattan with the hustle and bustle, people outside, waiting for tables, having a drink, waiting and stuff, sitting at the bar. You can't get in, 5 people deep. That's what I want to see again,
Same here. I want them waiting for tables. I want them at the bar drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a bonus to hit. I got diapers to pay for.
I got a college fund I got to start saving for.
Yeah. I'm with you though, man. I miss I just miss being in the city. I miss that hustle and bustle, man. I just miss the pleasant conversations inside of bars and restaurants. And not just
and some
like
of the unpleasant ones too, right?
But yeah, even that, man. 3 a.m. conversations I dearly miss. But until then, until we open back up, a lot more people are cooking at home. So you have a way for them to cook at home a little better. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you got going on?
Yeah, thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that. About a year ago, I challenged myself to do something I've never done before. And I wanted to start a website, cocoscooking.net. Thank you very much. So I am in the process still. It's been taking me quite some time. I built a website from the bottom up. And, many of the people out there that know me know I'm not really a tech savvy person. It's not my thing. I'm very, I'm all thumbs when it comes to tech, But through my life, I've always been like the helpline. People have always called me, text messaged me, emailed me, called my wife. Oh, can you extra what I should do with this? How should I do that? How long does this need to cook? What if I did this and it didn't come out? What do I? So I decided finally to say to myself, you know what? I want to build something around that. So I started cocoscooking.net, and it's still in the process of being built. So please, guys, when you look at it, it is still lacking on some stuff because I'm in the process of building it. So when you see, it may not be a ton of content there, but simultaneously, as I'm building this, I also started my professional page on Facebook, which you can find me at Chef Coco08. You can find me on Facebook as well. And I even started to dabble in TikTok, right? Making some videos, which that one's a little hard to figure out, the TikTok one, and how to cut the videos and put them, take a 4-minute video, bring it down into like a 1-minute video. But with cocoscooking.net,
just cook shirtless, Coco. Your TikTok followers will go up quick.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Maybe if I lost like 5 or 10 pounds, you know what I'm saying?
Nope, then it won't work. Then it won't work.
But so with cocoscooking.net, I wanted to build a platform where you find out a little bit about me and how I got into the business. Then you're going to see an area on my page that's going to show tips and tricks. There's going to be a video library as I create videos. I'm going to start posting all my videos to there. Unfortunately, I realized I've been doing a lot of videos on Facebook, And I didn't realize that you can't take the videos that you when you go live and save those and put them to a website because they are encrypted strictly for Facebook. So I have to find out a way now of redoing those videos and actually just saving them as a video and putting it on my website. So
I
I
could do
kind of
that for
messed.
you, bud. We'll talk offline. I can help you out with that.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be awesome. Thank you. So
Good stuff.
I kind of wasted some time going live instead of doing recording the video itself. But as I said, with cocoscooking.net, there's going to be an area to do like forums. If you look on there, there's some forums up there. One of the first forums I posted that I want everybody to take part in, if you wouldn't mind, is actually debating on one of the biggest debates I have is my favorite Italian dessert: a fresh baked sfogliatelle or a really nice cannoli. It's a hard decision. You know, I have another forum up there. 5 best cuts of meat. You got your rib steak out there. I got my flank steak on there because I'm a big flank guy. You got your New York strip. You got your filet on there. You got your skirt steak on there because I'm a big skirt steak guy. I love skirt steak. Oh, skirt steak is great.
I agree.
So there's some forums on there. There's going to be an area, like I said, for tips and tricks. And you're a cannoli guy, huh, Tommy? All right. Hey, listen, I can't decide myself. That's why I'm asking for help because I love them both. Listen, I'm a fat guy at heart. I would take a bite of both if I could.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, all in one mouthful.
What is it?
So,
Midnight Run, little surf and turf.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. So you'll see, and also what I'd like to say is, right now my website is completely free. I just, there is a way to register on the website. So this way, everybody who registers, I put you guys like on an email. So anytime I update my website, you'll get an email. There's new content on there. And eventually what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this like an online business for myself. I want to build it so this way I could start working from home and creating this and much further. I mean, it's just a thought in my head, but way further down the line, I'd like to start a cookbook and stuff. But right now, I want to build this website. And for now, anybody who registers, as of right now, you will have free registration for life. Once I get this to the place where I need it to be, I want to start monetizing it. There is going to be a small fee, registration fee, monthly fee for the website where you'll be able to, email me at any time. I can get you recipes. I'll help you with videos. There's even going to be an area where I'm in the process of creating this like a calendar. We can schedule like cooking classes. Hopefully, I'd like to do it in person, but right now we could always do it virtual. Like a virtual cooking class. You cook at home while I'm cooking in my house. I'll teach you what to do. So there's a lot of content that I want to put into it. It's just taking me time to get there. And I wish that I was more of that tech guy where I can get it done quick, but I'm not. So it's taking me longer than I really want. But there's going to be a lot of stuff on there. So please, whoever's going to my website, in the upper left-hand corner, it's easier to do from a laptop. Believe it or not, it can be done from a cell phone. It is, cell phone friendly, but it's easier on a laptop. Just go up and register, and I appreciate anybody who would take the time to register because, like I said, I'm just trying to build my user base. I'm trying to build my followers, both on my Facebook page and on my webpage as well, because I just want to create this as a legacy for my children. That's why I'm working so hard right now, is because I've realized that, working for somebody is great. It's a guaranteed paycheck. It's awesome. And I'm not going to stop. I can't because I have a family to support. But I want to start working for myself. And that's where this whole idea came from.
And it's amazing, literally organically, as you can hear from your story that you shared with us, from 13 years old working with grandma,
Yeah.
You have a wealth of knowledge that is worth the cost of admission. Like just what you broke down today, just how you broke down your tools, you breaking down the knives, how to use them, how to sharpen them. It's amazing how much knowledge that you have, and you got to share this with people, and obviously the Joker said in The Dark Knight, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. So everyone's got to get paid somehow, man. And I would love to join you along with this and help you out wherever I can. If you want to pair some cocktails, if you want to pair some educational dinners, whatever it may be, I'm 1,000% in there to support you.
Now that hopefully now as the weather starts to change, we get back into the springtime, I'd actually like to do this where we actually pair some cocktails or some backyard foods.
I'm with it, man. I'm 1,000% with it.
You come on over, we'll smoke a whole freaking pig. I think one pig's enough for me and you.
Don't threaten me with a good time, pal. That sounds epic. I'll come right now. I'll come in shorts and sit in the snow. I don't care. Let's do this.
Unfortunately, it's sad to say, but the smoker's kind of covered with snow right now, so I ain't getting to it anytime soon.
We'll get it done though, for sure. But no, man, I mean, you got such cool things coming out right now. And I think the silver lining in everything throughout the pandemic has been people finding their creative soul, people thinking outside of the box. I mean, for the last 6 months, I've been able to watch my daughter in every which way grow up. And I wouldn't have had that before. In the last year, I got to create a platform like Quarantine Cocktails, and alongside of Tom Johnson and Jeremy and Lacey and Angie and all the great people at Digital Speakeasy, you got to build out this, and this is such an awesome platform that we've raised almost $10,000 for people now, and I think that behind it all, it's easy to get angry. It's easy to get upset with what's going on in the world right now, but to embrace it, to sit back and to weigh your options and think the way that you're thinking and want to have a legacy for yourself and want to have a brand for yourself and give back to your family. It's absolutely amazing. And that is the silver lining in it all. Creativity and artistry is king. And you're an artist in every which way, from cutting down the pig to cutting down the chicken to taking the spine on out to honoring grandma, making them out of gut. I'm sure that apron or it's still somewhere.
Well, as a matter of fact, I gotta rummage through my mother's house. I'm sure I'll find it.
But all of that, it's an art. And creativity wins because creativity equals love, and that's what's going to get us all through this, man.
And also the other thing that really makes everything possible for me is the fact that, for me, when I see people smile with the food that I do, or see people smile with the help that I give them, and knowing, that I can help you cook something, I can teach you to cook something, that to me has always been the part that I love the most. Ultimately one of the goals I've always had, my wife knows, I've been wanting to teach for years. For years, I've been saying I wish I could be a teacher and teach culinary arts. And it would be great. Unfortunately, it would be a big, step back for me in a sense for financial reasons. So I just really couldn't do it right now. Maybe as my children get older and they're more self-sufficient. But right now, my kids being so young. So this, in a sense, is a way for me to help teach people, and still fulfill what I want, the dream that I want. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. I get to teach and I get to show and I get to produce. And on the same token, every time I do something nice, my wife and kids eat pretty damn good. So, hey, why not? And it gives me an excuse to make a big mess in the kitchen. She cleans it up.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You have to show me that technique. So I'm not there yet. I make a big mess in the whole house, but I still got to clean it up.
I'm telling you just got to make sure it's damn good, brother. Just damn good. That's what it is.
My wife doesn't eat anything that I cook.
Why not? What do you mean?
She's the most health conscious human being on planet Earth. She has more discipline than professional athletes that I know, and she eats super clean.
I can help you making super clean foods. Doesn't mean I eat them. Yep. I got a figure I got to keep here. People know me.
I'm with you.
I can help you.
This waistline's a badge of honor.
You know what I like to say, Tommy? If I had all the money that I've invested in this waistline, I could pay off my mortgage right now.
But I love it. But guys, please go like and subscribe. I put both the Facebook link as well as the website into the chat. So please go on in there, give his page a like, give his website a like. Keep breaking his chops for more content too. This guy is absolutely amazing. He's got a personality that could ring up a room, let alone the knowledge that he has in everything in terms of butchering and cooking. I wish nothing but success for you, Joe. You're going to be amazing at this. I know it. Just jump in, both feet, and start ripping, man. And with that, you're gonna build up some awesome stuff for our industry and for the future of the culinary world.
Okay. Now I got a question for you, Tommy.
Yes.
Since I'm on your show tonight, right? Every Friday I try to do a video. I try to produce something. So what do you want to see me make this Friday?
Ooh.
Oh, you weren't expecting that one. That was the curveball I was holding on to.
This is a big thing, man. You know, it's a big weekend. It's a lovers' weekend. You know,
it is. It is
so
lovers' weekend.
We're going into something with.
It's the weekend a lot of babies get made.
Facts. And I'll make another video on why you shouldn't make babies. It's the best form of birth control. So you know, I'm thinking a little French cuisine.
Okay.
You know, something. French are very romantic, so something like a nice petite poulet, maybe. You know.
Okay.
Uh-oh. My wife's watching and she heard me.
Oh.
No, and that's a show, guys.
You know what?
I would go. You know what? Forget about that. I want to see your perfect ribeye. You're a ribeye guy. I want to see how you perfectly put together from start to finish. I want to see you with a big hunk of meat. I want to see how you fillet it nicey nice. I want to see your go-to. For me, I go traditional cast iron skillet, nice and hot, olive oil bath, put it on down, 2 minutes, flip it, butter, baste it up, nicey nice with a little bit of rosemary and garlic and I do the finger test.
Okay.
When I feel the finger, when it's rare, that's when it comes off. But I want to see how you do.
Ribeye.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you said polenta, so I want to see what a nice romantic side. I'll give it to you.
Oh, you like polenta? I absolutely love polenta.
Look at Ashley. Tuesday, Valentine's Day, and Chinese New Year. We got a lot going on.
I don't know, Tommy. You're gonna be a busy man.
I'm making jambalaya on Tuesday. That's a fact. I already got it. I got it locked and loaded.
Nice.
My favorite town is New Orleans, as you know. That's where we got married.
You're gonna have to get a king cake too, then.
So you know what? I had it in my phone on the day that you're supposed to make the king cake, and I woke up and I was holding Harlan, you know, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna put the little baby in as well, you know, the whole thing with the king cake.
Yep.
And I'm like,
the purple, the green,
I don't bake. I'll buy the king cake. I'll make the jambalaya. You know, I'll even do the crawfish. I'll do a nice.
You're gonna do a little dirty rice with that jambalaya?
Of course. How do you not? That's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it.
Nice.
But I'll get it done the right way. So yeah, I want to see that, and I'll show my jambalaya as well.
Come here for a minute.
Ashley says very fancy. She doesn't like fancy.
Hey guys, we have a special guest star who wants to come over and say hello.
There he is.
This is my little son Andrew. Andrew just turned 8. He just turned 8 last month, and he lost a tooth this morning. He woke up this morning. He goes, "Daddy, my tooth hurts. Can you pull it out?" He took it like a champ. I yanked it right out.
This is my boy.
This is my little guy.
Read the comments?
Yes, I've been reading the comments.
Did you see the one that Mom posted?
Yes, I saw what Mommy posted. Come on, go upstairs. Oh my God!
I love that. Boys are coming over. Everybody better bring a bottle of vino. Ooh, that sounds good.
My wife's got the right idea. Bring a bottle of wine. I always say, you know what? My door is always open. Anybody can come over anytime. But if I'm cooking, you're bringing dessert. Because I may be a chef, and I do dabble in some baking. I do. I'm not the best baker in the world, but I make a spanking good cheesecake.
Ooh.
You know, and I actually do a hybrid of an Italian and an American together, which is, you know, my little thing. You know, I make a pretty damn good creme brulee, a good flan and stuff. But, you know, I'm not, you know, big into all that other stuff. So I always say, I'll cook, but you bring dessert.
I'll bring the whiskey.
I'll take the whiskey. That's fine with me. I'll take whiskey any day. The hell with the dessert.
Well, Joey, I look forward to seeing the ribeye and whatever else you got up your sleeves on Friday. I will be tuning in. I'm excited for it. And yeah, man, let's collab. Let's do some more stuff together. I would love to
without a doubt,
come
man,
on in.
without a doubt.
I think we're a good tag team. So
I think so, Tommy. I think we, me cooking, you mixing drinks, and then us just sitting down eating and drinking together. This could be like the next big thing.
it's a beautiful thing. Thank you. You're the best for tuning in.
Oh, that's my mother over there.
Hi, Mom. He's a good old boy. And I will clean up. I don't like cooking a bacon. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming on. For you guys, again, please, 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 if you can, go on out, check out our link tree on the Digital Speakeasy on Instagram. It's also on our homepage for the World Central Kitchen. We're trying to give back to some people. My company will be matching donations up to $25,000. We also have something really fun planned for the month of March. I think we're going to do a full 24-hour live stream coming up in March. So definitely keep your eyes out for that.
Oh, that's nice.
We got some cool stuff up our sleeve. We're going to do one last run to try to make as much money as we can for the World Central Kitchen. But yeah, please check out some past shows as well. We have some awesome content here. I know there was a lot of first-time viewers. Thank you for Mr. Coco himself, as he should have. So if you want, go check out our page as well. Be sure to like and subscribe to Joey's Facebook page as well as his website. And let's build it up and stop getting him yelled at for his wife for picking up the phone and answering everyone's questions for free.
Thank you so much, Tommy, for having me, man. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Hey, man, thanks for joining. We'll definitely talk soon, man. It's been a blast.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.